What's cracking, Hot House Operatives? It's your baby mama's favorite cousin, Cousin T-Taw. And today we are getting into story number 3 of the 4-part series, going over and reviewing the Halloween threesomes that stood out to me. Now, let's be clear, okay? If you've been here for a while, you've had the opportunity to listen to the first 2 stories that I broke down regarding the phenomena in Chicago, but all over, okay, in places where they have adult Halloween, where these are wonderful opportunities to explore a space that's conducive to your threesome journey. Now, don't get me wrong, not every situation that lends itself to experiencing a threesome turns out as planned, okay? And honestly, there are plenty of stories that I can and will relate regarding having an opportunity, looking at the elements that are around, and wanting to execute a potential threesome that completely flatlined, that completely was DOA, that did not happen for one reason or another. Guys, let me know in the comment section if you're interested in hearing those stories. I think that those are interesting lessons to relay as well, but primarily the purpose of these stories is to give you an overall arc of performance, right? I've set up the background with the first 3 videos detailing the logistics of the threesome, why I recommend that every man at least attempt one threesome in his lifetime to see whether or not the threesome arena and the requisite skill sets fit into his particular sensual profile or his intimacy index. And also, of course, I recommend incorporating the language and vocabulary of the threesome space so that you can employ it in your current relationships and your potential future relationships. Gentlemen, let's be honest. At the end of the day, if this is something that you'd like to incorporate in your intimacy index, you need to be able to have a mental basis and a proper orientation for where you fit in this and where a potential partner, be it short-term, mid-term, or long-term partner, would align themselves within your world. Because at the end of the day, a key component of masculine mastery is building and owning your world. That being said, let's get into story 3. Now, this story 3 is entitled The Vampiress, and it takes place, of course, in Chicago during Halloween. Won't say the year. I try to change the names and blur out some pictures because I like to use actual pictures that I kept to document the particular occasion. I didn't know, however many years ago that I experienced this, that I'd be relaying these stories as teaching tools and teaching aids for other men who are interested in expanding their passion palettes, right? So here's a picture of me while on the trolley crawl for this particular occasion, and you see there's so many people. This is why adult Halloween is so fun, because it's interactive. You got people of all different backgrounds. You see me here with a good version of Samuel L. Jackson from Pulp Fiction. You see me here with this couple, Batman and his partner. But there's such a diverse collection of experiences, backgrounds, and perspectives that come together for that weekend. That, like I said, the sensual energy and the sensory energy is so high that it's a wonderful setting for exploration. So this picture right here shows the centerpiece of this particular story. This is the actual vampiress that this particular story surrounds. And I met her on one of the stops along the trolley crawl route. And I mean, obviously the energy was crazy upon us meeting each other. And the background to this story, I was actually supposed to meet an entanglement further down along the trolley crawl. Here's a picture of the entanglement. That's enough of that. But in any case, what ended up happening is this. The Vampiress and I ended up hitting it off so well, okay, to the point that she recommended that her out of town friend, who used to be her former college roommate, hang out with us for the evening. She was coming into town. She was, in Chicago for this crazy ass weekend. The Vampiress was already out enjoying herself. She didn't know what to do with her friend, and so, me being the generous, thoughtful guy that I am, I had an idea. Why doesn't she come hang with us? And so phone calls then ensued. The first phone call was for the Vampiress to her girlfriend and to tell her which was going to be the next bar that we were going to hop to, so that we could all link together at that space. The second phone call was on my end to my entanglement to let her know that plans were shifting. Things were getting crazy. Traffic was building up. There was going to be some barriers between, she and I hooking up that evening. And so what I did was extend our window of hanging out into the next day. So I wanted to make sure that our entanglement situation did not fall apart. So I pushed it further into the next day for a brunch situation. That way I can maintain this current momentum that was building with the Vampiress and her roommate for this moment, for this evening. Now, there are two things about this story that I really, really want to drive home to you gentlemen today. The first is, if and when you find yourself in a potential threesome scenario, meaning entertaining more than one romantic interest for an evening, you have to keep your mind open. You can't close off romantic access to other women in a given space. And what I meant by this is that even though I was being flirty and playful with the Vampiress for the time being, while we were on the trolleys going from bar to bar, I was still engaging with other women, being playful, inviting them to be in our mix, to be in our little playful group here, while still maintaining the fire and the embers with the Vampiress, so that she still understood that I was attracted to her. She turned me on. I was in a position to be able to reciprocate that attraction throughout the duration of the evening. That's important because once we caught up with her former college roommate, that mentality, that mindset of being romantically open to engage other women and bring other women into our romantic space was going to be key in transitioning from the solo one-on-one romantic interest to the threesome 1, 2, 3 romantic situation. Second, the logistics of the threesome. Now, you know that I'm all about you as the man having your own space set up, having your own manner of transportation to get to your space, to transition from the venue to your space once you've indicated that you desire to escalate the romantic situation. In this scenario, obviously, I had planned on hooking up with the entanglement for this evening, and so I did not have a hotel room ready in terms of the final destination of the logistics of this potential romantic encounter. So I needed to quickly discover whether or not the Vampiress's dwelling would be a potential space for our encounter, or whether or not her former roommate had lodgings for her time to be here in the city for the weekend. This is how it went down. The Vampiress and I made our way to the agreed upon bar that we were going to meet her former roommate. Turns out her former roommate showed up as a Playboy bunny. Let's go.